Hi everyone, it's Megan here. I'm gonna go over a few things with y'all, but this is the first of hopefully many YouTube videos where I show y'all how I edit the majority of my photos with greater than Gatsby actions. Before I dig in too deep, I just want to make sure that you guys know that although actions are wonderful, they're great, they help streamline your workflow, they make things so much faster, you do need to have a very basic knowledge of Photoshop before you go in and start tackling with these things. So that's a lot of self-study. If you guys would like something just to kind of help go over some of the basics, let me know. There's tons of YouTube tutorials that you guys can find, but I'd be more than happy to make one for y'all if y'all need, for some of our new members. So greater than Gatsby, I have been using these actions for several years now, and they just get better and better and better. I'm going to show y'all how I edit a very basic headshot. This was a client that came to my home just a few days ago. And I'm going to be using the Greater Than Gatsby Portrait Retouch collection. It is one of their most recent ones that they just came out with. And I use it for just about every single photo. So like I said, you want to make sure that you have a very good grasp of Photoshop before you tackle it. But another important thing is you want to make sure that you have a good solid foundation to work with. You can't really make something out of nothing, if that makes a whole lot of sense. So you just have to make sure that you have a very good foundation. So you can tell her eyes are very, very sharp. The whole image itself is nice and crisp, it's clean, and that'll just really help make sure that everything looks really good. So for starters, we're going to go in, I'm just going to work myself down. I've already done a few adjustments in ACR, which just kind of enhancing a couple of highlights and shadows and just kind of doing a little bit of adjustments just so that way I can get myself a nice clean foundation. I always, always, always start every single picture that I do, I start in ACR. It just helps me. Whatever you guys need to do, do it. So I'm just going to go in for starters and we're going to work our way down. So we're going to do this Natural Beauty Smoother. I use it quite a bit and it works really, really good. So we're going to go in and I'm going to show y'all exactly what it does. So y'all can see I'm just going to go in and do little edits. Sorry, normally I edit with a Wacom pen, but I think I left it in the other room, so I'm using a mouse right now, which is fine. So you guys can see I'm going in and I'm painting over basically her entire face. And it is gorgeously smoothing. It's not over smoothing, which is the best part. A lot of times you'll get a lot of actions that will be too smooth, and we don't want that. We want to still be able to see texture in her face and everything like that. So we're going to go in. I'm going to bump that opacity up to about 85%. There we go. All right. So next I'm going to go in and we're going to do the Abracadabra Concealer. So you guys can see under her eyes, it's a little bit puffy in there, a little bit of crow's feet, who cares? We're going to go in, we're going to play that action. You'll see that all of your actions are over here on the right hand side in your layers panel. So we're going to go in and I'm just going to pop all that out of there. Okay, and if it's ever too much, all you have to do is just go in here to your opacity and you can drop it down however much you need to. So this is 100%. So this is before and after. Before and after. So I'm going to drop it down just a little bit, just so that way you still see a little bit of dimension under her eyes. So no big deal. All right, so next I'm going to go in here to the Skin Tone palette. And I'm going to play it. What that's going to do is it's going to open up all of these gorgeous skin tones right here. And you're just going to kind of play with it. So you can kind of choose whichever one is closest to what she has right now. She's kind of got a golden kind of color going for her right now. I'm going to drop my opacity of my brush down to about 45%, and then I will work my way up if need be. So I'm going to go in here. Okay, so this is already on 40%, and I'm just going to lightly brush over her skin here. And I think that is a perfect color. This is just going to kind of help brighten and enhance what she's got going for her in here. And also what I wanted to mention is when you're going in with skin smoothing actions, you want to make sure that you avoid like her laugh lines, you know, smile lines, stuff like that, dimples. You don't want to go in and smooth all that out just because it doesn't look as good. So there's that. So I'm going to go ahead and close that up. Now I've also noticed here whenever I'm working on some things, I can notice that she's got a few blemishes here. Do you guys see those? So I'm going to come over here to this little nifty tool. Oops. Actually, I'm going to go ahead and close everything out. So I'm going to go to that tool there, and I'm just going to remove some of those spots because we don't want those there. There's a little one right there, and here, and there. All right, that's pretty good. All right, so you guys can see how good that looks right there. All right, so next you're also looking up here in the hair. So we can go in and actually kind of blot some of that out of there so that way it's a little less distracting around the face, which nobody likes all that in there. All right, and so she's got a few little wrinkles up here. No big deal. All right, so there's our palette. So she looks stunning, as you guys can see already. All right, so now we're going to go over into the eye enhancers. We're going to play, we're kind of going to go through almost all of them, I guess. So we're just going to start with the all over eye foundation. We're going to play that action. We're going to zoom in pretty close here to her eye. We're going to grab our brush tool, and we're going to brush it in. Oops, let me bring my opacity up on that. Okay, we're going to brush this here into the eye. And this is just going to give us a real pretty bright foundation for the eyes, so that way, yeah, that way it kind of brings everything out. So next we're going to do the eye whitening. You can see here in the eye area, it's a little bit dark in here, so we're just going to kind of make that pop a little bit. Not too much, so we're going to drop it down. All right. Define the eyes is going to be a really good action to use, like here on this middle part. It's just going to kind of help bring it out. So you guys can see I'm kind of, it's almost like you're coloring in the lines, I guess. We're in here at the lashes and the brows. We're going to kind of fill those in a little bit. And I'm just going to pop her lashes. So I'm literally just coloring on the spot that's there, guys. They take all the hard work out for everybody, which is fantastic. All right, so I'm going to bring that up. So now check out her eyes. So I'm going to show you guys what I'm going to close all these out so you can see. All right, so we did the base foundation first. You guys can see that. Her eyes are a little bit too white, so we're going to drop that down just a teensy bit there. Okay, we also did that eye whitening there. We're going to bring that down just a little bit more. Define the eyes. Remember we did that here on the actual pupil of the eye. We enhanced her brows and enhanced the eyelashes. So boom, check that. Gorgeous. Okay. So now her lips are a pretty, very pretty color, but I do want to kind of add a little bit more color to her actual lip itself. So we're going to let that play. All right, I'm going to kind of bring my brush up a little bit bigger. You can choose your size of the brush over here if you want to. Or you can use the shortcut, which is the little bracket tools, to go up and down. So the one on the left bracket would make it go smaller and the other one would make it go bigger. So I'm going to just kind of brush that over her lips just to give her a nice soft lip palette to work with. Okay, and then I'm going to drop it down a little bit because I don't want it to look too crazy. All right. That looks pretty good. So there's already a pretty good highlight right here on our lip, so I don't think we really need to use the highlight shine. So we're going to go in next with the teeth whitening tool, and we're just going to do exactly that. We are going to whiten her smile. but you don't want to over whiten. I mean, I guess unless your client really, really loves super white teeth, but don't do that. So there we go. So absolutely, absolutely gorgeous. So there's not really a whole lot more we need to do, but we are going to go in with her hair. So they pretty much do top to bottom on everything for that. So we're going to go for her Hair So Healthy It Shines. It's going to flatten the image automatically, which is all right. We're going to make that a little bit bigger, and we're going to just brush it over her hair. And it's just going to give it a nice little bit of a texture. Okay, we're also going to do the black highlights, and we're just going to kind of really enhance her hair here. Just to give it, oh, that's a little bit too much right there. Let's drop this down about half. Alright, and bring that back in. Alright, what else I really like about this Intensify Black Highlights is it works so pretty for contouring. Like around her lip area, you can kind of enhance the shadows in there with that a little bit, and it just kind of helps bring that out some. You guys can see. Okay. Make it a little bit smaller. You can even darken the little blacks of her eyes. Alright. So there we go. Now if you really want to be extra, you can go in and you can, do that same smoother just kind of on her arms, since we do see her arms in here. Go ahead and just kind of smooth that out just a little bit in there. No harm. No harm done. Alright. So there's that. Alright, so now say we're ready to export this thing into like Facebook. Say you want to, you know, send them a sneak peek or whatever. I always recommend actually I forgot to, let's do her cheeks really quick. Let's kind of enhance those. So they also have a cheeks palette. So let's go ahead. It's going to open all of them up over here. Just kind of pick your favorite color. Peachy Keen's one of the favorites that I use. And just kind of blot it on there a little bit. It's just a very soft color. I do like Peachy Keen. There we go. That's a good color on her. All right. We're going to close all that down. All right. So I've already got this like pre-saved, but I always go in here and I sharpen my image, just because whenever you sharpen it, for one, it's going to make it look so much better whenever you get it on Facebook. You don't want to over sharpen, because then it's going to look really pixelated and just kind of like eh. So I've already got mine pre-saved. You just kind of go with what you need to do on your computer to make it exactly how you need to do it. So mine's already pre-saved there. So that's going to be the full size. So we're going to go in here. If we want to go in and put it in on Facebook, go to image size, and you can always size it however you need to right here. You want to go in, I always do bicubic sharpener, or yeah, this one right here, the reduction. It's going to take just all the little extra pixelations out, I guess. Your width, you want to put it at like 2048, because it's a horizontal orientation photo. If it were up and down or like portrait style, then you would want to obviously do the height. So whichever one is your long side, you want to do it at 2048. Make sure your reduction is turned on. I always keep my resolution at 300. That's just me. This will keep it to where whenever you upload it to Facebook, it'll be nice and sharp. So I'm just going to zoom in a little bit so you guys can see just how good that looks for me. So she's got really natural, pretty skin. We didn't overdo it. Her teeth are not overdone. Her eyes are not overdone. And she's just gorgeous. So that's it. I hope you guys found this useful. I'm going to put the link in the comments so you guys can go in and get this collection. I highly recommend it. If you can swing it, absolutely get all of the Gatsby actions. I do not have all of them loaded. I do have all of them, but I just don't have them all loaded right now. We'll get to it as we grow. But for sure, definitely start with the Portrait Retouch and Portrait, just the collection. There's a couple of action sets that we won't be using because they did retire them, but I may use them just because some people do still have them out there and they just don't really know how to use them very well, but that's okay. So you're just gonna go in and save it right there. Make sure you save it as a PNG file if you're saving to Facebook, and then as a JPEG if you're saving for sending to your client. And that's about it. So I will see you guys next time. And if y'all have any recommendations, or not recommendations, any requests, if you have any requests, let me know and I will do my best to make y'all a video. Y'all have a great night. We'll talk to you soon.